Namaskaram. Been a while, got busy with school. And as I said in the last video, today's video will touch on the malas, or the three impurities of Kashmiri Shivism. And they are Anava Mala, Mala, and Karma Mala. And also, we'll speak on the 36 Tattvas, the 36 elements. And before this, we'll begin with the Aora Mantra. Koremyo dhangoremyo kora kora tarim yascha sarvata sarva sarvemyo namaste rundra rupemya Agoremyo dhagoremyo kora kora tarim yascha sarvata sarva sarvemyo namaste rudra rupemya Agoremyo dhagoremyo Kora kora tarim yascha sarvata sarva sarvemyo namaste rundra rupemya. Jai Ishvara Swarupa Swami Lakshmanjoo Maharaja. Anavamala is the first of the malas, as this is the first impurity. And it is a lack of completion or lack of fullness. It's aparna. And this lack of completion, or this incompletion or lack of fullness, leads to the other impurities. This is the theory of Kashmiri Shivism. And of many other yoga systems will identify these same three malas. So Anavamala is this deep-seated feeling of incompletion and non-fullness, which denies us of knowing our true nature, which is a oneness with the universe or with Paramashiva. This gives rise to Mala, which is the limitation of individuality, of feeling as though you are an individual, and it is a separation from all other beings. That is the understanding of Mala, is kind of a seed of duality. And then this gives rise to Karma Mala. And Karma Mala is the limitation of one's actions, feeling as though our activities are limited to the body. So it is kind of a bodily consumption, I guess you could say. Like you're consumed in the limitations of the body. Feeling as though our actions are not universal, but they're completely limited to our physical organs and dermis and all of these things, right? So those are the three impurities or malas, which kind of give rise to ignorance or dualism, and are responsible for the situation that we now find ourselves in as a jiva. And fullness and or oneness with God is always there. It just becomes subsided. It's like the clouds come over the sun. It does not mean that the sun is not still there in the sky. It simply just means that it's cloudy and it's harder to see or find the sun when we look in the sky. That's a comparison I would say, is that Brahma Shiva is still present as the source of all things, including ignorance, Tradana, Shakti. But it just becomes subsided. And here we'll begin discussing the Tattvas, the 36 elements. The 36 elements are kind of like the ingredients of the cosmos or the universe. And then they also become the individual. So these same elements that comprise the universe are shared with every individual. And really every aspect is sharing these elements, which binds everything together. The idea is that there's Anuttara, or Paramashiva, which is this element beyond all of the 36 elements. So it's like a 37th tattva, or hidden element. One could almost say this is God, Paramashiva, that we could use the term God, or Anuttara, it's transcending the Supreme. It is totally transcendent, with the potential to become immanent and gross. So this becomes agitated, and from this agitation of Anuttara or Paramashiva comes all of the other 36 tattvas, beginning from the highest Shiva tattva down to the grossest, which is a Prati tattva, or the earth. So we can go from the highest tattva, the most subtle tattva, down to the earthly tattva. So again, Paramashiv, this 37th tattva becomes agitated. And in its agitation, Paramashiv, it is it falls down and becomes Shiva tattva. And Shiva tattva is I-ness. So there's no universe, it's just pure I consciousness. And from Shiva tattva comes Shakti tattva. Shakti tattva is I-ness, but now there is a universe. As Shakti is the universe and gives rise to the universe. So now Shakti tattva is I am this universe, which gives rise to Sada Shiva. Sada Shiva is I-ness and thisness. So it's seeing the I in the external world. And this gives rise to thisness and I-ness, which is Ishvara tattva. So Ishvara tattva is when we see this, the external world, or objective world, in the I, or the subjective world. That's Ishvara tattva. And that gives rise to Shuddha Vidya. Shuddha Vidya is I-ness and I-ness, and thisness and thisness. Meaning, now there is a separation between oneself and the universe. So we see I-ness and I-ness, and thisness and thisness. So we see the outside world, or objective world, as being separate from I, or I-ness, or the internal world. So as you see, we've begun with the most subtle, pure tattvas, and they're becoming more and more gross or corporeal. And these beginning 5 tattvas are called the Shuddha tattvas, or the pure elements. So these are like the purest elements, which give rise and unfold the rest of the elements. So from Shuddha tattvas, now comes Maya. And Maya is the illusion of exclusive individuality. And then Kala, which is the limit of action. And then Vidya, which is the limit of knowledge. And then Raga, which is the limit of attachment. And then Kala, which is the limit of time. And then Niyati, which is the limit of place. And these are the Satkanchukas, or the 6 coverings. So now we have the limitation of time, so now we have Kala. Time, we have the limit of our knowledge, and the limit of our action, and the Maya, which is the illusion of our exclusive individuality. And then we have the limit of place, so becoming more gross, becoming more impure as we move down the tattvas. And then there is Purusha. Purusha is the subjective ego. And then there is Prakriti, which is our nature. And then that gives rise to Ahamkara, which is the objective ego, or the small ego, the individual ego. And then there is Buddhi, which is our intellect, and Manas, which is our mind. That is Antahkaranas, the internal organs. And now that gives rise to Pancha Gyanendriyas. So the 5 organs of knowledge. Shrotra is the ear, the organ of hearing. And then Twak, the skin, organ of touching. Chakshu, the eye, the organ of seeing. Rasan, the tongue, the organ of taste. And Ghrana, the nose, the organ of smelling. And now Panchakarmendriyas, the organs of action. We have Vak, the speech. Pani, hand. Pad, foot. Payu, excretion. Upasta, creative, impulse. This further gives rise to Pancha Tanmatras, or 5 subtle elements. That is Shabda, sound. Sparsha, touch. Rupa, form. Rasa, taste. Gandha, smell. This gives rise to the Pancha Mahabhutas, or the 5 great elements, which we hear in most mystical systems, or most traditions. We will hear 5 elements. That is Pancha Mahabhutas. Akash, ether. Vayu, air. Tejas, fire. Jal, water. And finally Prithvi, the earth. So now we have gone from Anuttara Paramashiva, the 37th element, which is a non-element, and this has become the universe and the individual beings of this universe through this succession of 36 elements, from Anuttara Paramashiva down to Prithvi, the earth. And Paramashiva is this 37th element, which pervades all of the 36 elements beneath it. So in Prithvi you will find Paramashiva. In Upasta you will find Paramashiva. In Maya you will find Paramashiva. In Sudavidya you will find Paramashiva. In Shiva Tattva you will find Paramashiva. So all of the Tattvas are bound by the substratum of pure consciousness, which is Paramashiva. So in that way, everything in this universe is pervaded by the non-element, or the 37th element, beyond the 36, which is Paramashiva. And that is how everything is in the body of the divine, or everything is an emanation of the divine. So all of these tattvas need to be absorbed by the yogi in their sadhana. And this really gives us this kala experience of the universe is existing within us. These elements exist within us, and they emanate from our being, and they become this universe. This universe is held within our organs and our senses and our perceptions. So that is the malas and the tattvas. Jai Ishvara Swarupa Swami Lakshmanjoo Maharaja. Jai Trika Parampara. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev.